That's it. Okay, right. Anyway, now session can be deleted in different ways. The first one is, so what you can do is using delete keyword, using delete keyword. But how you delete it using delete keyword? You'll try to write like this. The syntax is now you're trying to write request dot. Okay, delete. So delete request dot session. Okay, delete request dot session, and it followed by key. You need to write the session key. So which you want to delete it. So this is the first approach using a delete keyword. And second one is, see, it is a dictionary, right? Using which method here? Pop method. It is a dictionary. When it is a dictionary, using different approaches, you can delete it. Request dot session dot pop. So here you have to define the session key. You have to define the session key. So key, and if the key is not exist, you can return the default value, and that defaults to what here? None. And third one is you can get the query set. Okay, using okay, reading. So reading session details from database and deleting it. Okay, so you can read the details from database and then you can delete it. But how you delete here is, so here you have a login table. Okay, so you need to build a model dot objects dot filter. Now you get the data, or a model dot model dot objects dot get, and here you have to give session. So key equal to session key. You have to define the key, and then after that delete it by using delete. So here you get the object, model object, and then say delete object. So this is another way of deleting it. So you get the object and then delete it. And you can also delete it based on the time. You can also delete it based on the time. So how can you delete it based on the time? Now here you have a method called session.expiry, set expiry time, or you can define this time global in settings.py. So this can be global, this can be set for one request. But you can delete it by using which keyword? Delete keyword, saying delete request.session followed by session key. You can delete it by saying request.session followed by pop. And you can delete a session directly from model. But you have to build a model here, but this is not preferable. But if you want to delete a session on closing of browser, now session can be deleted. Session can be deleted on closing of browser. Okay, you need to define you need to define in settings.py. In settings.py, now there is one environment variable. Okay, session expiry on browser close. Okay, so that value you have to make it as what? True. Okay, there is one environment variable, and what is that environment variable is? So session. Hmm. So there is one environment variable. Anyway, this is, so you can delete it like this. Delete request dot key name, and you can write like this. Request dot session dot what is that? Flush. And you can also delete it. Now you can say session expiry at browser close. Okay. So there is one variable called session underscore expiry. Session expire at browser close. So this is one predefined variable, and the value of this variable can be either true or false. The value of this variable can be true or false. So for that, okay, you take this variable, and one more is you can also define the session expiry time by using session cookie age. And what is the default is 2 weeks like that. So session cookie age. And what is the default age of this cookie? Now this cookie is persist. This cookie is persist within the browser. Okay. Session cookie age. Session cookie age equal to you define the time. Okay, here you define age in time. By default, the age is how many weeks here? 2 weeks. By default, the age is how many weeks here? 2 weeks. 2 weeks it will use it. Okay. So these are different environment variables which you can use for setting the time here. Okay, so these are variables. Now you can use it based on the using program also by using set expiry time. Okay, you have a setter methods also. So here, get expiry at browser close. Okay, so you can also define it by using this also. Okay, set expiry and it followed by the value. But this can be used. See here, you can also use set a cookie age by overriding this method, or you can directly write within the settings.py by just giving session cookie age. Now you can define this. Okay, now see here, this is 3000 seconds. It's nothing but how many minutes here? 5 minutes. Now you try to define in what here? Sessions. Session in what? Seconds. But even if you set expiry time as a zero, suppose if you set expiry time as a zero, then it will try to close the session when you close the browser. Whenever you close the browser, it will try to, yes. Now there is a method called set expiry. Now this is a method of session. This is one more way. Okay, now this you set it when you send first request. Okay, set expiry and then followed by value. Okay, set expiry, it followed by value. Now your session will be closed automatically based on the given time. So it is nothing but request dot set expiry and it followed by the value. But this value is given in what? Seconds. If the value is zero, if value is zero, now session expire. Okay, session expired on closing of which one? Browser. On closing of browser. If value is zero. If the value is zero, the session is closed. Okay. So this value, this okay, this value is defined in seconds. This value is defined in what here? Seconds, right? So these are different ways, okay, of deleting what here? Session. And you can also delete it. So deleting of session is also done using so you can also use request dot session dot what is the name of the method is flush. So this will clear all the sessions. So these are the different ways of deleting what here? Session. But here you have to read first a session key and then you have to delete it. So delete request dot session, it should read the value and based on the value you should remove the key, right? So delete key. First you have to get the value of that key, which is stored in the backend. Okay. So these are different approaches of closing what? Session. So let me tell you a simple example like how to session. Okay, okay, for example, assume that there is a login. So where the end user enter, okay, username, yeah, yeah, it is a dictionary. It is stored as a dictionary API. So here you enter username and password. Enter the username and password. After giving username and password, okay, you just click on sign in. Okay. So once you click on sign in, this request is sent to the view. Okay, this request is sent to the view. This is views.py. Now this view doesn't verify any username and password. It just create one session. It will create a session for this particular user. If the session is already created, then I should say the session is already created. If the session is not created, then I should create what? Session. Okay, you should create a session by giving key and value, right? So that is done by yes. And after that, after verifying it, okay, it will send a response. So who generating a response here? View. So here view will generate a response by creating a session. It will generate a response by creating one session. Okay, assume that here it will display, okay, here it will display sign out. Here it will display what here? Sign out. So you have two things here. One is sign in and one more is a sign out. And here you have an inbox. So if you click on inbox, then it should display this is the inbox of this user. So this request is again sent to the views.py to one view and this will generate inbox of that user. Which user? The user who's logged in. Now here the user can sign out at any place. The user can sign out at any time by just clicking on which one? Sign out. The user can sign out at any point of time by just clicking on which one? Sign out. But even though if browser is closed, then automatically should sign out. Then here it should display the mails. Mails means it should display some message. This is your inbox. This is your inbox. Right now, these are the operations which are done by which user? This user. The user by using which is login. So that is with username as well as what? Password. Right? Yes. So let us see this. Now here we are not creating any backend. We are just storing this username password in the session. Okay, we are storing this username and password in the session. Okay. So because you create a session and store the data, and once your operation is done, you should delete that session or not? Yes. If not deleted, that session is opened or not? Yes. It can used by other people. Okay. It can used by other people. Now that is not secure. Okay. You have not logged in. You went somewhere. Somebody will come and sit on the system and start using it. So because of that, it is always recommended to close the session. And you close the session by just clicking on what? Sign out. Or when you close the browser, then automatically you should delete what? Session. Right. So let me tell you this. Okay. So what you are doing is now create one project here. Right. So create the project here. So here I'm writing a start project. So this is a project here. Create one project. So here open the project. So Python manage.py. Now create an application. Okay, create a project and create application here. So open the folder. So after this, so what we are doing is we need to configure here in settings.py. Now install the application and define the backend. Sorry, define what here? Database. And what is my database is MySQL. And here we try to create. So what we'll do is we'll create another database. Why confusion there? Okay. You can store in the same database, no problem, but I'm creating another database because this is another project, right? Okay. So create a database. So create a database. So now this is a so project 27 DB. Okay, right? So this is my database name. So project 27 DB. Then define the username. And this is my username. And define the password. And this is a password. And define the host. And this is a host name. And define the port here. Okay. So define all these values. So after this, you need to add one environment variable. And what is that variable? Session backend. You have to define one environment variable. And what is that environment variable is session backend, right? So in settings.py, okay. So you have to define the session engine. And what is the session engine I'm using? DB, database. Okay, so define this. Anywhere you can write this, but I've written here session engine is django.contribute.sessions.backends.db. So after this, do the migrations. Okay, so first migrate it. So Python manage.py. So I can you don't have any making migrations. You can directly migrate it. So Python manage dot because you not build any models. So migrate. Now it is created all the tables. Now you can see in the backend. Okay, show tables. Oh, use database. So what is your database project? 27 DB and use show tables. Now these are the tables created, and in this, what is your table is Django session. So the name of the table is Django session. And this is a structure of this table. And if you want to delete it, you can delete it by using what here? Session key. You can delete it by using session key, right? So let me develop this. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm creating one folder called templates. So in the templates folder, I'm creating a folder, I mean template called login.html. So this is login.html. So where I'm saying form and I'm trying to input. So here I'm trying to input. So here I'm trying to input two things here. So table row, yeah, table value, username. You're trying to input username and you're trying to input type equal to text. and name equal to username. Okay. The next one is table row and the password. Okay, table data and input type equal to password and name equal to what? Some password, right? But here you are not verifying is it password is correct or not. No, you just sign in by giving the password. So here again table column. Now input type equal to submit and value equal to login. Okay, now this is login.html. This is a template where you log in. Now in views.py, I'm writing a view that should display login template. And this is called as which view? Home view. Now here I'm saying, okay, response equal to render request comma. So what is the name of the template? Uh, login.html and return response. Now this is a view which will render which template? Login.html and generate response. After that, you enter username and password. You enter username and password and click on which button? Login. Once you click on the login button, you are sending a request. Okay, you are sending a request to one view. You are sending a request to one view, and what is that view is login. Okay, but you are sending a request using which method? Get method. If you want, you can send it by using which method? Post method. But if you are sending it using post method, write a slash here also. Okay. So, but here I'm sending a request using which method? Get method. So where you are trying to input username as well as what? Password. And once you click on the login button, the request is sent to which view? Login view. So here, this is called as which one? Login. And here you have a request. So what this login view is doing? It is trying to create a session. It is trying to create what? Session by reading request data. So what you are trying to read? Username request.get. Request.get dot what is that? Get. What is the value you are reading? Username and request.get. And what is the value you are reading here? What values you are reading? These two values. Uname, PWD. PWD is nothing but your password. So where after reading these values, you are storing these values within session. After reading the values, you are storing these values within session. Now request dot, okay, request dot session. And what is the keys? Uname. The key is uname and value is what here? Password. Key is an uname and value is what here? Password. Key is a uname and value is the password of that user. Okay. Because keys are unique or not? Yes. Then after that, you are generating a response. But you want to know it whether session is already opened or not. Then you can verify. If user name not in, if username not in, what is this request dot which one? Session. Then create a session. Okay, create a session. Okay, create. You are creating a session. And after creating a session, you should generate the output or not? Yes. What is that output is? You are saying response. A response equal to, okay, what is that render? A request comma. Now you are trying to render one template. Okay, where you have a link called sign out. And there is one more link called which one? Inbox. Okay. So assume that this is inbox.html and this is inbox.html. Okay. You are rendering inbox.html and return. So what you written here? Response. For example, if the session is already exists, you cannot log in again, right? Okay. Can you log in two times? No. Then you have to open which one? If not in, then it will do this. If it is not in, you do this. Otherwise, you display some message. What is that message? You have already logged in. Okay. So here I'm saying response. I'm generating a simple response by saying from Django dot http import http Django dot. So here import http response. Now here I'm creating a response http response. Okay. Now this is a message. User name. Uh, what is that? Already what? Login. Okay. Already logged in. Right. So you don't require to log in again. Right. Now this is written. What do you written here? Response. If you want to with some style here, some h2 like that. Okay. Now in settings.py, I want to close a session when you close the browser. I want to close a session when you close the browser. Then how can I close a session on browser? By saying session expired, browser close. Session expired, what here? Browser close. And what is the value is true. Okay, so that whenever you close the browser, then that cookies get deleted automatically. That cookies get deleted what? Automatically. What? Password is string. Password is string only, right? What happened? What happened here? No, input type is text. What is the problem? Then what is the problem? क्या यार? Codes are missing. कुछ नहीं होता यार. कुछ problem है? कुछ होता है क्या? Will it give error? No. Work, right? Worker doesn't work. It works here. Okay. Now this is once you say login. Okay. Once you say login, it will do like this. It will create a session. If the session is already open, it will try to display already logged in, right? Then it is generating inbox.html. It is generating inbox.html with some message. Here I'll say context. Context is what here uname, and I'm sending username. So key is a uname and value is a value of username. So we are in the templates. In the same templates, I'm creating inbox.html. In inbox.html, here I'm displaying the message. Okay, here I'm displaying some message. Okay, that is hello, and I need to insert user. Okay, so that is nothing but what? Uni. And here I put one link which will display inbox. Now, if you click on inbox, then it should display the inbox of that user. And there is one more. Okay, there is one more. And what is it? Another one is sign out. There's one more which is called as what here? Sign out. So once you click on sign out, then it should close what? Session. It should delete the session. But once you click on inbox, it should send a request to one view. So where it should display the inbox of which user? That user. It should display the inbox of that user. But once you click on sign out, then it should close what? Session. Right? Just see. We have done up to this. Just see. Go to settings.py and define the template path. So this is called as a base directory slash templates. Okay, right? So install the application. Define URLs. So from application one.views, import all here. So path is, I just write here home. Inbox only. Login, right? So this is login. So what is the name of the view is login. Okay. So done this. So run the server here. Now here there is a home. Now you're trying to input username. You're trying to input username and password. Okay. Now just click on login. Oh, it is a smaller. Now you can see hello Suresh. Now it is given two things. One is inbox and one more is what here? Sign out. Okay, inbox and sign out. Suppose if I move back and if I log in with again same username, then if I click on login, so it is given message Suresh already logged in. Message is the session is already exist or not? Yes, because how many times you can log in? Only one time. Suppose I close the browser because session expire on closing of browser. So what will I do is again I'll send it. So this is a home. Now enter the username. This is a username and this is what here? Password. Click on login. Now you can see hello Suresh. And my session is expired on closing of what? Browser. Okay, because I said, okay, in settings.py, I said in the end, right? So what is that session? Expired browser close equal to true. So in this case, what will happen? It will automatically set request dot session dot expiry time as what 0. That is nothing but it will try to close the session when you close the browser. When you close the browser, it will automatically close the session. Now just to see in the backend table, select star from Django underscore session. Okay, right now this information is there, but this will expire automatically, right? Yes, it is defined the time. Okay, it is defined the time. So let me, now once you click on sign out, suppose, okay, inbox, you got an inbox. For example, you sign in again by giving some username, okay, slash, and here I said home. So input some username and some password here. So login. If I click on sign out, then I should close what here? Session. Okay, without closing the browser. Without closing the browser, if I click on sign out, I should close the session or not? Yes. Then how can I close the session in between? By clicking on which one? Sign out. So in views.py, create. So what is it here? Sign out. Now this will receive the request. So before deleting, you need to first check, is it the session is exist or not? So if how can you check is the session is exist or not? Tell me here, how you verify session is exist or not? Request dot, okay, session dot, what is that method is get. Now here, now session contain the key and values, right? So now you need to get a key. Now what is that key is here? Session key. You are getting a session key. Okay, so session, okay, session underscore key means you are getting the value of session key. But if the session keys exist, it will get the value. If the session keys not exist, what it returns? None. What it returns? None. If the keys exist, get the value. If the keys not exist, what it returns? None. Okay, what it returns? None. If A, if A equal to none, means is this login or not login? Not login. Okay, if A is none, then you redirect to which page? Login. Okay, you redirect to login by saying, okay, response equal to render, okay, request comma, what is that login dot HTML and return. Okay, return what is that response? Means you have to log in again. You have to log in again, right? So when if the value of A is what here? None. So this will avoid which error? Key error. Get method avoids what? Key error. Okay. Method never raises error. If the keys not exist, it will not raise any error. If the keys not exist, it doesn't raise any error. If the keys exist, it returns a value. Now you get a value. Using value, now using the key, will you delete a value or not? Yes. So what you can say? You can say delete. What you can say here? Delete. Delete, you can use a C. How many approaches are there for deleting? Delete request dot session. It followed by which one? Session key. Okay, request dot session pop. It followed by what? Session key. You can delete it like this. You can also say request dot session dot set expiry. It followed by which one? Value. Or you can also delete it by saying request dot session dot flush. So already you get a key, right? Using that key, you can delete a value or not? Yes. Using that key, you delete a value. Okay, now you say delete. Delete what is that? Request dot session. Request dot session, and it followed by which one? A. What is A? Actually, it is a key. What is A here? Key. Actually, A is what here? Key. Getting on? A is nothing but what here? Key value. So that value you are deleting it. Using this key, you read a value and you are deleting. Okay, delete. Then after that, you are trying to generate a response by saying response. Now you need to redirect to which one? Login. So login dot HTML. So return response. So this is when you click on sign out. Whatever, how I'm deleting it by saying delete request dot session A. What is the A is here? Key. I mean, every session is identified with a key or not? Yes. You read the key. Now using that key, you are deleting the item. By saying request dot session, it followed by A. Okay. Yes. Okay, right. Then after that, now this is a sign out. Define the URL for this. Go to urls.py and there is a path. And what is the path here is sign out. Sign out in the place of sign out. We'll say log out because login, log out. Okay, right? So what is the name of the view is logout. So comma logout. So you are sending a request to the logout. Once you click on this sign out or logout, okay, you are sending a request to one view called which one? Logout. So that should delete what here? Session. Okay. That should delete the session. Now just open this. Now here you have a home. Now enter username. and password, click on login and just click on sign out. Once I click on sign out, it has come to this place. Now I'll try to again log in with the same username. Okay, it's already logged out, right? Then I should create again session or not? Yes. So login not deleted. Some problem is there. Not deleted, right? Session key. So here, so it is written none. Oh, okay. Here we are not doing anything, right? So this logic, yeah, anyway. Now what we are trying to do is, see, what happened here is, now we are deleting a session, but how you are deleting a session? By using a delete request.session and it followed by what your session key. Okay, using the key, you are deleting the complete session, or you can directly use request dot session dot what is that flush request dot session. It is printed none only. Mm. No, no, you have to delete complete. So what is that here? Session. Yeah, anyway, we need to close the browser. Username. No, actually session is identified with the key. Okay. You can also use username also because you are deleting that user from the session, right? But actually, which one is exchanged between the client and server is key. Okay. Which one is exchanged between the client and server is session key, but not data. See, data is what your username and password. Okay. So if you want, you can do like that also. Now request.session.get, what do you read? What do you read here? Username. Okay, but this will read A. What is A is request.session.get. What is that here? Uname. So delete. So what you're deleting here? You don't require to use this. Uname. Delete request.session. What you're deleting? Uname. So it is a dictionary, right? Where is it? Here. Uname and password. So 1 minute. So here what we'll do is, so request dot, okay, request dot. So what is the name of the dictionary? Session, right? We'll print this dictionary. It's correct only. We'll just check this again. So here I'm saying print request dot session. So anyway, on browser it is closing it, but we need to delete in between. So login. Now this is fine. Then if I click on sign out, this is also fine. You can see what is the data is there here. It is send this. This is a session object. We need to read. What we'll do is dot. Now enter the username. Now I say logged in again. So we need to close browser first. See what we are trying to do is we are trying to delete a session. Somewhere I did mistake. We'll find out that. Now this is a home. Input username and password and login and sign out. See, now this is Suresh and S123. Okay, right? Now Suresh and S123. Now we need to delete this. So actually, now what is the code we have written here is we need to delete by using what here key. Okay, request.session.get session key. Means you are trying to get now see this is dictionary items, that is what is the name of this is Suresh and S123. So this is items which are there in session, right? Okay. You can delete this directly. You can delete this. But actually, session is not identified with the username and password. Session is identified with what key? Session ID. Session is not identified with the username password. Session is identified with what? Key. So that's the reason here I read what here? Session key. Okay, that's the reason. What we have done, we read the session key. And based on that session key, what we have done, we deleted the yes. So that is how you are trying to do it using delete keyword. Why is not coming? Delete keyword. You can use directly delete keyword to delete the session. Just see here. Yeah, delete keyword, request dot session. This is a key name. Message saving data, setting data, deleting session. This is deleting items. Yeah. Yeah. This is deleting session value. What happens somewhere? So here, what we'll do is now this request dot session dot items are there. No, like there is a key, name is a key, and this is what here value. Then what you are trying to do is you are trying to read items view, and this is nothing but one. This is nothing but one list or not? Yes, we'll convert this into one list. So A is some list. I've done like this. And what we need to do is we need to read this value. So this value is nothing but this is a key and this is what here value. Now read it. Delete. Okay, delete a session request dot. What you are writing is delete a request dot. Yeah, I just read this. So delete a request dot session of A of some 00. 00 is nothing but Suresh. Okay. 00 is nothing but Suresh. Right. Then it will send to login. But see, just see here. But actually we'll see. Now this is a username and this is a password login. We'll close the browser. But here we are not not deleted, right? Okay. So just log in again. So by giving home.html, so username, password, login, sign out. Now just see at the backend. So we'll log in again with username and password. Yes. Right. So it is deleted. The session is what here? Deleted. I said again, hello, what? Suresh. If I click on sign out and if I say Suresh and S123 and login, okay. Then if I say sign out, now that session get what here? Deleted. So what we did is we just read the username. Okay, we just read the username, and if A is none, I should say A is not none. Here length of A equal to what? 0. Then again respond to what? Login dot HTML. Otherwise request dot session delete A of 00. It's nothing but you're deleting using what? Username. You're deleting it by using what? Username, right? So this is fine. Now this is already logged in. We'll just check this already logged in. Okay, is it working or not? So you'll try to input. See, you're deleting it by using username. Suresh and S123 login. Now then if I say back and if I say login again, now Suresh, you are logged in again, right? Go to the back and here is already logged in, right? So you cannot log in again. Here it should display one message, Suresh, you are already logged in along with what? Inbox.html. Along with inbox.html, you can display that. Okay. Now once I click on inbox, once I click on, yes, I think you understood this one, right? In logout, what we did in the logout, we read whose data? User data. Means the user is identified with some name or not? Yes. So if the length of A equal to 0, means if the user is not logged in, then it will display login.html. Otherwise, if it's already logged in, then what you're doing, you're deleting request.session, and this is a key. What is the key? Is username. What is the key? Username. You're deleting it by using what here? Username. And then you are generating a response by saying render request login.html. Again, it will redirect to which page? Login page. Okay, right? So we are deleting it by using what here? User name. Now, what is the key? Is user name. So we read session data, and from that session data, we read which one? User name, and we delete it. Now, this is deleting at any point. Then once you click on, okay, just to see here, once you click on, okay, once you click on home dot, so this is home.html, enter the username and password and click on login. And once you click on inbox, okay, once you click on inbox, right? Are you written anything on inbox? But why it is sending to that place? So there is a home dot. So input username and password. Anyway, once you close the browser, it's closed, and click on what here? Inbox. Inbox also it is sending to login. Are you linked? So empty, right? So it is sent to home. Okay, with the same username and password. Now here it should display what here? Inbox. Now when you click on this inbox, then it should send a request to which one? Inbox view. So there is a view, and what is that view? Is inbox, and this inbox should display the inbox of that user. Okay, this inbox should display the inbox of that user. Now should read the user details from the session. Request dot session dot what is that? Items. Now here it should display the details along with the link. What is that link? Is logout. Now what you are trying to do is, okay, you are reading user name. So that is nothing but name equal to what is this? A of 00. A of 00, that is a name. Then you are saying response dictionary. See, dictionary dot items written tuple, list of tuples, and from tuple you are reading which value? First value. From first value, first value. What is the first value in first value? Is key. What is the first value in first value? Is a key. Now render request comma. Now I need to display mails. So view mails dot html along with the context data. What is the context? Is here name, and this is also what here? Name. Then return response. But you can sign out at any point of time. Now this is view mails. It is rendering to which template? View mails. Okay, view mails dot html, and in view mails dot html you are displaying mails. Okay, now here you are saying hello again. You are saying hello. Hello what? Name, and this is your inbox. I'm writing this is your what? Inbox. Then I create one link, and what is the link? Is sign out. What is the link? Is sign out. Sign out or log out. What is the name of this? Is log out. So once you click on log out, then it should send a request, right? To which view? Logout view, and it should delete it. Now this is log out. So this is a flow here. Now you need to create inbox. See here. Here you have a home login, logout, home login, logout, and one more is what? Inbox. So when you get this inbox, so when you get inbox, once you log in, okay. So create a URL for this. Create a URL path. And what is the path is here? Inbox. And what is the name of the view is inbox view. Inbox, the name of the view is inbox, right? So just run this. And this is home and input username and password login. Now, once I click on inbox, now you can see, hello Suresh, this is your inbox. Once I say log out, then it will come to login again. But it's trying to log in. So this is a new session or of same user or not? Yes, new session. Then once you click on sign out, it will come here. Okay. So Suresh and S123 login. If I click on inbox, now this is inbox of whom? Suresh, and click on log out. So it will come to this. Okay. If you close the browser, anyway, session is closed. Understood? Okay. So we deleted session data from backend. But how you deleted by using which keyword? Or you deleted from the backend by using which keyword? Delete keyword. Delete request.session a of 00. This is which view? List view. And from this, you are reading first tuple. Tuple contain two values. First one is username and second one is password. Now username is a key and password is a value. Then you delete it. You deleted that item from where? Session. You deleted that item from where? Session by using which keyword? Delete keyword. You can also use which method? Pop method. You can also use which method? Pop method for deleting it. You can also use pop method. Okay, right? I think you understood this one. Huh? So this is deleting, closing the session by using name. What name? User name. Because it is identified with what? User name. Now this is how you maintain the session at backend, that is in the database. Okay, where you can store large amount of data and it is secure. Rather than storing at which one? Front end, you are storing at what? Backend. Rather than storing at front end, you are storing at the backend. Okay. So I'll just copy this application. So this is views.